CNN has learned U.S. officials are fearful of a possible chilling scenario. Intelligence reports these officials have seen suggest that Iraq's leaders have drawn a red line somewhere around Baghdad. These officials tell CNN that the intelligence suggests once U.S. forces step foot across that line, the Republican Guard may have been ordered to open up with chemical weapons.
We begin at the Pentagon tonight. We have our senior Pentagon reporter, Jamie McIntyre, with us. Jamie, good evening to you.
Good evening, Aaron. Well, U.S. and British forces are girding for a showdown with Iraqi Republican Guard troops, and there is fresh evidence tonight, fresh indication that they may be facing chemical weapons. U.S. troops are within 50 miles of Baghdad, preparing to engage a key Republican Guard division in what may be a decisive battle in the war against Iraq. The first assault against Republican Guard troops has already been conducted south of Baghdad near Karbala, with more than 30 U.S. Apache longbow helicopters and multiple launch rocket systems. From reporter accounts, it was a fierce fight. One Apache was lost, forced to put down in a field. Both crew members, Chief Warrant Officers Ronald Young and David Williams, were captured and later shown on Iraqi television.
All the other helicopters involved in the mission did accomplish the mission and returned safely to base.
The downed Apache was later destroyed by a U.S. airstrike, and most of the other helicopters on the mission sustained some damage from heavy Iraqi gunfire. Pentagon sources say punishing airstrikes are now in store to soften up the dug-in troops. In fact, sources say about half of the airstrikes conducted in the last 36 hours have been directed at Republican Guard positions around Baghdad, including one of the best divisions, the Medina Division.
I am sure that it has been degraded significantly in the last 48 hours or so. I couldn't judge its current strength, but it is a linchpin to the consistency of the Republican Guard defense.
U.S. commanders insist they are not at all surprised by the stiff Iraqi resistance.
We have come across dead enders, and we've had some terrific firefights with some of these. Not unexpected. I think our people are prepared to fight this war.
The Pentagon says most of the battle deaths so far are the result of deadly deceptions by fanatical Iraqi fighters, known as the Fedayeen Saddam, who the Pentagon alleges have staged false surrenders and posed as liberated civilians in order to ambush U.S. troops.
Such acts are strictly prohibited because they make it extraordinarily difficult for coalition forces to accept surrendering forces or protect civilians. Some liken these acts to terrorism.
Meanwhile, U.S. intelligence tonight suggests that some Iraqi Republican Guard troops may have been given orders to use chemical weapons if U.S. forces cross an imaginary red line that encircles Baghdad. The Pentagon simply has repeated what it said before, that it will hunt down and prosecute as war criminals anyone who either issues or follows such orders. Aaron?
Well, do we know where this line is? Because we have some sense of how close the coalition forces are already.
Well, presumably this was one of the lines of defense around Baghdad, but no, we don't know. It's not a line that we can draw on a map. It's supposedly there's a threshold once the U.S. troops pass that where commanders would be authorized to use chemical weapons. But the question really is, at that point, if the U.S. is getting that close, what is the morale, what is the command and control of the Iraqi forces? Will they be motivated to use those chemical weapons and perhaps even seal their own fate if they know Saddam Hussein is doomed and his regime is going? That's a big unknown.
It is a huge and unsettling unknown, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Jamie, thank you. Jamie McIntyre, our senior Pentagon reporter.